Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Travel Tech. So in this video, I'll be showing you the 3 best dash cameras if you're planning on getting the finest nighttime footage and the license plate readability in the night. Well, these cameras come with the latest Sony Starvis 2 sensor, which is specifically designed to perform very well in low light conditions and also get a good read of the number plates, license plates, signboards, etc. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. So arguably one of the best 4K dash cameras under the price bracket of 20,000 is the 70mm A110. Yes, this newly released flagship camera from 70mm is definitely a very excellent proposition, and this gives you some really good footage both in day and night conditions. If you have missed my previous videos on the 70mm A110, do head down into the description, you'll find the links right there. So in this video, I'll be showing you in detail the video samples of the 70mm A110 in comparison with the 70mm A800, the previous 4K model of the 70mm. So let's check out the comparison of these two cameras and show you which one performs the best. So starting with the comparison of the daytime footage of both cameras, on top you have the A810 and on the bottom you have the A800. Overall, the footage looks pretty decent, but in the A800s, I think the footage is slightly warmer and also slightly sharper, whereas the A810 gives you a more smoother and a more natural feel. The specifications of the video are provided on the right side for your reference so that you can take a look at it. Now let's compare the license plate readability of both these dash cameras side by side so that you find it easier to make out which one is the best one. So on top is the A810 sample, and if I zoom in on the license plate of the car, now this is a pretty decent license plate readability, all letters, numbers clearly legible and a very minimal amount of noise. If we take a look at the sample from the A800s, now this is slightly blurred with a moderate amount of noise, and also the image captured is of a warmer tone. Now if we put them side by side for your convenience, you can definitely see that the A810 sample is clearer and much more better compared to the A800 one. So now let's take a look at the license plate readability at night conditions of both these dash cameras, the A810 on top and the A800s on the bottom of the screen. If we zoom in on the A810, now you can see the light streaks because of the fast movement, but you can clearly make out the number plate, each individual letters and numbers clearly visible. If we take a look at the A800s sample, now clearly overexposed, no letters, no numbers are visible. The entire number plate is whitewashed because of the improper exposure compensation. Now do note that the A800s sensor is not designed to read number plates, and the Sony Starvis 2 sensor in the A810 is specifically designed to read number plates and boards. If we take a look at the license plate again, now at a slightly higher distance compared to before, now again a very good read of the number plate, all letters and numbers clearly visible. And if we try to look at the number plate readability in the A800s sample, now again this gives you a whitewashed look because of the headlights of my car falling on the license plate and because of improper exposure compensation in the 70mm A800s. You cannot make out the number plate in such conditions. Now along with the license plate readability, there is also one more factor which I wanted to show you guys. Now if I go ahead and pause the video at a point, now as you can see there are definite glare lines in the A800 sample, whereas in the A810 there are no glare from the headlights or the street lights, and the video footage is very much natural looking without any glare lines and without any overexposure. So as you just saw, this definitely makes the 70mm A810 a very good buy under the price bracket of 20,000, and given the fact that this gives some amazing license plate readability because of the Starvis 2, this is definitely a dash camera worth taking a look. Now following this, I want to show you one more dash camera, one more 4K camera. Now that is the Viofo A139 Pro 4K camera. Now this camera too comes with the latest Starvis 2 sensor, and probably this was actually one of the first cameras to have the Starvis 2 sensor in it. Well, let's check out the video samples of the Viofo A139 Pro, and this time I'll be comparing it with the Viofo T130, a 2K resolution dash camera from Viofo, which has one of the older Starvis sensors. Let's see how the A139 Pro Starvis 2 sensor performs against the Viofo T130 previous generation Starvis sensor. So taking a look at the night sample, if you can notice the ICICI Bank ATM signboard on the right. Now in the sample of the A139 Pro, each letter is clearly visible both in English and in the regional language, and the exposure has been adjusted according to the brightness of the board. If we take a look at the sample from the T130, Now clearly it is overexposed because the lack of exposure compensation in the brighter areas in the Sony Starvis IMX335 sensor. Now taking a look at the samples side by side, well, this is no competition. The A139 Pro wins this hands down, and there is literally no way the T130 beats the A139 Pro in this aspect. Now further continuing down into the road, you can see a vehicle moving ahead of me, and if I close in to about a distance of 10 feet and then pause the video and zoom in to show you the license plate of the A139 Pro. Now this is a very good, very excellent read of the license plate at that distance in night conditions. You can clearly make out each and every letter and number, but that's not the same case with the T130. Again, a overexposed picture because the Sony IMX335 sensor is not designed to read license plates and it lacks the exposure compensation. Taking a look at the pictures side by side, now again this is not a competition at all. The A139 Pro again wins this round hands down, and the T130 lags far behind in this comparison. Now further fast forwarding the video and waiting till the vehicle moves to a distance of about 30 feet from my vehicle, and then zooming in on the A139 Pro license plate readability. Now you do see the quality coming down a bit because of the higher distance, but still, even in spite of having such a blurred condition, you can still make out the number plate. But again, the same case with the T130, higher exposure, completely washed out picture, and you are not able to read any of the number plate in this sample. Coming to the daytime comparison of both these dash cameras, clearly you can see that the A139 Pro has a higher contrast and the colors are more punchy due to the higher dynamic range because it supports HDR, whereas the T130 does not support a HDR capability. Now taking a look at the license plate readability of the Hyundai i20, now the vehicle is about 15 to 20 feet away from me and very moderate amount of noise, but a very clear picture of the license plate. Let's see what's the case with the T130. Now slightly blurred in comparison to the A139 Pro, but you can still make out the number plate. But the problem is, once you have seen the sample of the A139 Pro, you will definitely find this to be a more blurred out version. Now putting them side by side, as you can clearly see, the A139 Pro gives you a more better sample and a more clear picture. Now fast forwarding the video till the time where I reached very close to the vehicle in front of me, maybe about less than 10 feet. And then if I go ahead and zoom in on the license plate, now this is the finest license plate reads you are ever going to get in a dash cam, and this is from the A139 Pro at a very close range, absolutely no noise and a crystal clear picture. Well, what's the case with T130? Again, a very good read, slightly overexposed and a higher warmer tone, but you can still make out the number plate. Putting them side by side, you can clearly see the A139 Pro has a more sharp and a more higher contrast picture. Well, that was the license plate read during the daytime, and I think again, even in daytime, the A139 Pro really excels because it is backed by the Sony Starvis 2 IMX678 sensor, which gives the camera such amazing capabilities. So now we've seen the two of the best 4K cameras, that is 70mm A810 4K and the Viofo A139 Pro. The 70mm A810 comes at a price of less than 20,000 rupees, and the Viofo A139 Pro single channel comes at a price of about 25 to 26,000 rupees for the single channel variant. It has also a dual channel and a triple channel variant which come at more higher prices. All the links to purchase these dash cameras will be provided in the description below. Also, I have made detailed videos on both of these cameras, and the links to those videos will also be present in the description. Now comes the final dash camera, the cheapest dash camera in the world, which comes with a Sony Starvis 2 sensor. Yes, that is a Viofo A119 Mini 2 dash camera. This camera comes at a price of about 15 to 16,000 rupees, and this is a 2K resolution, a 1944p camera. Now I haven't compared this camera because there's no equivalent camera to go ahead and compare this with, so I'll be just straight away showing you a night sample of this camera and its license plate readability, so that you get a better idea regarding how good this camera is and is this the camera which you should be investing your money in. So let's take a look. Taking a look at the night sample from the Viofo A119 Mini 2 dash cam. Now this camera has a resolution of 2592 into 1944p at 30 frames per second. It has a bitrate of about 25,000 kbps and a file size of about 190 to 200 MB per minute. This is the camera which has a Sony Starvis 2 IMX675 5 megapixel sensor. Now the overall video footage quality does look pretty decent and manageable, but in comparison to the A810 and even the A139 Pro, the sharpness and the contrast levels do seem to come down a bit. Taking a look at the license plate readability, now if I just go ahead and zoom in on the plate, now as you can see, all the letters and numbers are clearly visible. There is absolutely no noise, but this is just above the glare of my headlight, and if I think the number plate came within the glare, the license plate read would come down a bit. Now since this camera is one of the cheapest dash cameras which you can get along with a Sony Starvis 2 sensor, this makes a prospective buy for many of the people who are looking to buy a camera with a Sony Starvis 2 sensor. So now you've seen all the three of the best dash cameras out there which give you some excellent night video quality and amazing license plate readability. Now what these cameras are capable of, no other camera will come even close to it, because the Starvis 2 sensor in these cameras is really game changing and it's going to disrupt the entire dash cam market. So if you're someone who wants the best and doesn't want to compromise on any aspect, especially in terms of video quality, these three dash cameras are going to serve you really well. And if you're interested in purchasing this, the links to purchase this are provided in the description below, along with all the detailed review and other relevant videos as well. So do go ahead and check it out. Many more amazing and interesting videos coming up in the future, so make sure you do not miss those by hitting that subscribe button of Travel Tech and smash that like button before you move on to the next one. This was the special video for today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.